What's going on, everybody? If you're having trouble growing your chest, this video is for you, alright? So I've been in your shoes before where I had a very hard time growing my chest. Well, in order for us to grow the chest, we need to really understand what it does. So before I get into any exercises, let's just briefly cover what the actual function of the chest is. The chest muscles, right, are meant to extend your arms in front of you, like that. See that? Chest is engaged. Now, whether my arm starts out from right here or starts out from here, right? They're all trying to get us in front of the body, like that. Now, this is lateral, right? What about up here? And what about down here? Well, up here is going to be hitting your upper chest. Down here, it's going to be hitting your lower chest. Now, before we get into exercises, let's go over the actual anatomy of what the chest is. That way, we know what we're working with, all right? So to break things down, the chest itself is called the Pectoralis Major, all right? And I'm going to use a little diagram here to help you guys out. So this right here is the Pectoralis Major. As you can see, we've got three main heads, all right? This top head right here is called the clavicular head. This head right here is called the sternal head. And down here, we've got the abdominal head. I don't want to confuse you with words too much, so from here on out, we're just going to call it upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, all right? So when I'm doing upper chest, it's going to be responsible for moving my arms in front of the body, but then up at around a 20 to 30 degree angle. The same is going to be true for the abdominal head. So if I'm here, I'm going to go 20 to 30 degrees below. All right, this is really important because when a lot of guys start working out, one of the biggest mistakes they make is that they're only hitting the center chest. They'll be doing a lot of, barbell bench. They'll be doing a lot of dumbbell bench. They might even be doing some flies. They're very rarely hitting the upper or the lower heads unless they know to specifically train for them. All right, so now that we know what the chest does, here's the question that's burning in everyone's mind. What do I do to actually grow it? What is the most optimal way? People are going to immediately assume more weight. That's the obvious answer, but is it always going to be the correct answer? Let's try to think about this critically, all right? Yes, you do need to, over time, increase the weight that you're lifting, but let's think about how to do this ideally, all right? So let's just say right off the bat, we're trying to really go heavy and we're doing something that you maybe can only do 5 reps of, right? So if I can only do 5 reps, I want to imagine in my head that I've got an energy tank of 100, all right? Now of those 5 reps, let's just say it takes 17, right? So right up here, let's do some quick math. 17 times 5, it's going to be 85. Think about that, man. You're 2 energy points away from being able to do a 6th rep, but you can't. There's just simply not enough energy. So when you put the bar back on the rack, you've got all that leftover energy that you didn't use. Now this might not be a big deal for powerlifters that are only concerned about increasing the weight week over week, but if you're trying to actually grow size and grow aesthetically, you want to think about getting your energy rating from 100 to 0 as best that you possibly can. So what's the best way to actually do this? Well, in my opinion, there's 2 primary strategies. You can either do what's called a drop set. That is where you would do your heavy work up front, and then once you can no longer do another rep, you want to drop the weight significantly and then keep going. That would be a drop set. The other option would be to do high reps. Now here's the thing about doing high reps. I like doing high reps, but it is an advanced technique. Most people that are just getting started at the gym, they don't truly understand where their failure point is. So let's just use 10 for example. If I start out with 100 energy and I'm trying to go for 10 energy per rep, then I get 10 reps. 10 times 10, that's 100. Okay? Easy enough. For the average person just getting started out, picking a weight that they can fail at 10 reps and truly fail at 10 is very difficult. Most people just starting out aren't going to be able to do that. So I recommend doing a drop set. You start out with a really heavy weight. Let's just say you can only do five 5 times 17 gets you to 85. Well, if we peel that weight off and we take something that takes in energy units, let's say 3. With that, you do 3 times 5, that's 15, that gets you to 0. So what does this mean in like a practical sense? Well, if you're benching, it's always a good idea, in my opinion, to put your lightest weight on the bar first, and then you put the heavier plate on. That way, when you're doing a drop set, you peel the heaviest plate off, you keep the lower weight on the bar, and you can keep going without fiddling around with all the weight. And when I do a drop set, I drop the weight considerably. If I can cut the weight in half, that's pretty good. If you're dropping the weight by 30 or 40 pounds, I think that's still too heavy. So just something to consider when you're in the gym, when you're doing a drop set, put the weights on backwards. I know it's going to look weird, and like in your mind it's like, oh, this doesn't make sense, but once you get used to it, you're going to be like, whoa, my drop sets are way better when I can pull off the 45 instead of the 25, and you just keep going. So now we've talked about kind of like the rep schemes, but here's the thing. If you bench and you just do flat, you're going to get a puffy chest, but it's not going to be very well defined. You're not going to have a lot of volume in the upper or in the lower. So when we're doing chest workouts, we really want to split them up equally into 3 parts. All right, you want to be hitting your upper chest, middle chest, and lower chest with equal effort amongst the 3. All right, guys, so that was the intro to how to build a chest. In my next video, I'm going to be taking you through my 6 favorite chest exercises, and we'll be going over the different variations. That way you're able to mix things up while at the same time keep growing. All right, guys, so we just went over what the chest does and what the different components of it are. In our next video, we're going to be going over what to actually do to grow each one. So I'm going to go over my 2 favorite exercises per muscle group. All right, so that's going to be your upper chest, mid chest, and lower chest. And I'm going to show you guys variations that you can do so that you can kind of mix things up, get a different range of motion. Some of you guys are going to like different movements more than others, so this is all a way for you guys to figure out what you like the most, and then you can really start growing your chest. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one, and as always, if you like what you've seen, give me a subscription and ring the bell, and also like this video. All of it helps me grow the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.